Next presenter, which is going to be providing an update on the ETF implementation project, is Larry Galehouse. Larry is the founding director of the National Center for Pavement Preservation, or the NCPP, which is located at Michigan State University. He began the nation's first dedicated pavement preservation program with Michigan Department of Transportation in 1992. So on the Emulsion Task Force report, Larry.
Thank you, Steve. Although I presented this ETF information before, I'm going to give you some new information today. And one of the things I want to say is up to a few years ago, there were no national standards for materials or design or construction or quality assurance for any of the emulsion-based pavement preservation treatments. And that's changed. And these are the new approved AASHTO specifications that I hope that all of you listening will be familiar with. And you'll notice that we have approved under construction guide specs and quality assurance specs, but no numbers. And they're currently in the AASHTO publishing process. So as soon as they go through their process, then we'll have numbers assigned, and all state agencies will have access to these at no cost. Otherwise, other people are going to have to pay for the specs. But we do have the final drafts available for you to look at on our website, and I'll show you that a little later. Not only the emulsion-based treatments, but also the emulsified asphalts, the ETF has worked on those as well, and there's new standards out there for those as well. In getting through this approval process, this is a big deal because it takes a lot of time to get specifications written in the proper formats, go through the review process, and then once you submit them to AASHTO, it takes 1 to 2 years in order for you to get the approval, and that's assuming everything goes well. I just wanted to let you know that these are really going through a very tight review process, and every question that the technical subcommittees have, or any comments they have to be responded to in an appropriate manner. And if corrections need to be made, they're made. And then it goes through the ballot process for the technical subcommittees, and then it goes through the full membership, and we need a 2/3 approval for these steps, or for these specs to be adopted. So I just wanted to let you know that's a big deal to get these things done. Now, I know many states have specifications that work for them, and some states may not have specs that give them consistent performance. But I want you to realize that these specs are available for your use. You don't have to adopt them in total, but if you may want to look through them and adopt parts and make reference to them. Recently, we at the center were awarded a contract through NCHRP 20-44. This is a little different type of program that they offer. This program is really to implement research. And so many times, research is done, but nobody implements it. Well, this is an implementation for guide specs for construction of chip seals, microsurfacing, and also for fog seals. And the whole goal of this is really to have the states look at these and adopt either all or a portion of these specs into their specification books. And we have 4 tasks with this project: information dissemination, outreach, training, and demonstrations. And we'll get into those in a second. The information dissemination, the chair of that is Scott Demetrol. He's with Prisms Worldwide. And there's a group working in this information dissemination. They're going to develop baseline data from the agencies. They're going to write magazine articles. We're going to put together a speakers bureau, and then we're going to develop a lot of AV tools and printed material. One of the things that's going to impact all of you, or at least we're asking for your information, every agency is going to be sent a questionnaire, and many of the local agencies will too. It's an online survey. It's really short. It's only 9 questions. A lot of them are yes/no answers. And then we're going to post the result on the ETF website, which I'll give you later. But we want your input on how effective a program would be, and are you familiar with these specifications, these new specs? The outreach program is chaired by Jerry Guy, Minnesota DOT. He's in charge of the task group, and he's going to discuss the new standards with the agencies and the contracting community because they have to be familiar with it. There will be presentations made about the new standards in all kinds of national, regional, or state and local meetings. And then the outreach program is going to offer best practices, a document for chip seals and microsurfacing that's being developed and is ready to come off the printing press, so to speak. This document will also be gone through the training program. And the training program is chaired by Stormy Brewster with Marathon Petroleum and Travis Walbeck with NCAT. There's going to be 2 training courses offered, one for engineers and one for technicians for all the emulsions and emulsion-based treatments. They're in the process of preparing appropriate training materials right now in PowerPoints, training manuals, workbooks, and technical brochures. And finally, demonstrations, and that's chaired by Larry Tompkins with Ergon Asphalt and Emulsions. And that group is putting together demonstration projects. They'll be calling on different agencies if you're interested. But the goal here is to have either, well, I should say a micro, a chip seal, and a fog seal in each one of the 4 AASHTO regions. And it would be done by either a state or a local agencies. But we want those new specifications to be used and people see the performance, and what we're really looking at is consistent performance with all of these treatments. And so we're not asking agencies to go out and program new projects, but projects that are already in the pipeline for microchip or fog that you're interested in maybe using these new specs, we'd be interested in talking with you. And then if you host a demonstration project, we have some funds available to bring folks in to see what's going on with the demonstration. The training can be done at the demonstration, or the training can be done separately. It's free. All the agencies have to do is ask for it, and we can provide it online, or if this COVID ever ends, we'll actually come to your agency to deliver it. So we really need help in finding demo projects, and if you are interested, please contact us. And finally, I talked about the specifications. The ETF has a website. You can view it. You can view all these standard specs that I showed you earlier. There's the web address. I'll leave this up for a second. Or you can go into the TSP2.org and click on the Emulsion Task Force tab in there. It'll take you to it. And finally, if you forget everything else, all you got to do is Google Emulsion Task Force and you'll be taken to the website. With that concludes my presentation.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.